So I'm gonna bring you on a little journey. A journey that's not really happening in the way that we think it is, but somehow in these human bodies, we're able to interpret things in a really intelligent way, see patterns in things, make links, learn, grow, change, evolve. And we can make these interpretations and live a seemingly fulfilling life with ups and downs, losses and failures, successes, gains. And all of it is really beautiful. All of it is really unique to us. The things that we want and desire all vary, they all differ. And as long as we're born and living in this society, and it shows us, in the bigger picture, it shows us a certain way of living, certain way of being, what you should want and desire, what's important in life, what you should be going for, what you should be chasing. And so we all get conditioned and programmed in all of these different ways, but largely it's kind of the same. We're all just searching for this fulfillment, happiness in whatever way we can. And it does really feel like the answer, because sometimes it will satisfy for a moment. It will give relief. And it might even convince you during that time that, yeah, maybe this is the answer. Even though this didn't work out, even though I did lose it, even though it didn't pan out the way that I expected, maybe the next time it'll work. But I think sometimes we can get to a point where we've kind of lived enough. We've done that enough. We've seen it through. We did what we wanted. We tried to get that thing. And you kind of see it's not in the idea of what it is that will satisfy. Because this picture that we have, this idea, is imaginary. It's made up. It's fantasy. And it could be one of the most devastating things to really see that for yourself. And when you go through the loss and the grief and the mourning, and you cry and you lay in bed for a whole day, perhaps you could taste the relief of not needing that in that way anymore, not striving for that imagination, not chasing for an idea of something that doesn't exist. Perhaps then you could taste the rest in the body, then you could go beyond that chasing and see that, oh, this was always okay. This was always enough. I was always enough. I never needed to prove myself. Nothing out there could add to me. Nothing out there could actually give me value. Because I'm not a thing, I'm not an object that can be labeled in that way. It can't be solidified. But while that was obvious, more and more obvious, it was still really nice to feel like I was seen and heard for everything I had been through, for all the difficulties, for all the beliefs that led me down different paths and took a lot of energy and focus and attention. And it was tiring. It's nice to be seen for all of that apparent effort that I thought I made because it felt like I was doing it. I can see now it wasn't me. But what becomes obvious is kind of the obviousness of how amazing we're all doing, how amazing it is to live in this dream and keep going, keep striving. And then you see like cats and dogs, and I just have this feeling like they already know. They never had to go through that loop. They never had to go through that journey. And it's just different in a human body. The capabilities seem like a lot more. We have this intellect that can just bring us on this epic journey that's not really happening. And then you land here, just like an innocent animal. You have very basic wants, desires, needs, support, affection, wanting a little connection. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't become inhuman. You just understand what it actually is to be human without the overlay of what's going on, of what this is. You just see the simplicity of it. You see the magnificence of it. You feel the body for the first time. You experience emotions for the first time. You experience thoughts for the first time. You see it as it is, naked, bare, unknown, never about me. I never produced a thought. I know that life can't see you. It can't see anyone. It really doesn't register in that way. It's not, I don't know what life is. I don't know. It is this. Whatever this is, it is this. And so it's the same with this body. I don't know what this is. It is not a who. It is not a thing. And then when perception just happens from nothing, it really is seen that I'm not looking. I'm not here looking at actual objects. Then you kind of get a sense of what life really is, and it has no ability to judge you. It has no ability to pick you apart and say, fix this, change this is wrong. This is just what it is. Energetically, I can feel that everything is zero, net zero. It's not really good, it's not really bad. I can see that all of the healing that I was trying, it led to some harm, but I couldn't see much of the harm because my perception was locked into I am healing. So I was mostly just able to see that. And I don't say that in judgment, it doesn't matter. It's just seen clearly, like there was nothing inherently good or bad, right or wrong. There was no real victim or perpetrator. I can see clearly that if I had been raised and exposed to everything that what I would have labeled a perpetrator before, if I had lived their life in their shoes, I probably would have done the same. Because you see how difficult it can be, confusing with emotions, feelings, beliefs. It's layer on top of layer of harshness, rigidity, arrogance, confusion. So I'm not saying it's not okay to hate or be angry. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, there was a real full allowance to finally feel the hatred, finally feel the anger, because I never allowed myself before. It just couldn't happen. That's not who I was. I couldn't really go there. But here, everything's allowed. Because it's understandable that as a separate person, when there's a belief, an energetic belief in that, of course, of course you could hate. Of course you could judge. Of course that would happen. That's not your fault. You're not wrong for feeling that way. That being said, there are still moments. It's a lot more rare, but there are still moments where it gets sticky. I still feel bad for how I reacted to someone. And then I need to be reminded that based on how I felt, how tired I was at that time, and what was going on, that reaction couldn't have come out any differently. I never said that. It was never in my control. But the conditioning, what we're all habituated to do, is to take complete responsibility and to not see the whole. So I'm nowhere near perfect, and I don't want to be perfect, and there's no need to be perfect. Maybe the conditioning of that can come up here and there. The attempt to be perfect or the want to be perfect. That's fine. It's part of the remnants of trying to control, get some safety that way. But I'm weird. I'm silly at times. I have this baby voice that just comes out, and there's no more suppression of it. My friend's mom asked me, when is that going to go away? And I just joked and made a deeper voice. I don't care. It doesn't define me. You're never your age. I'm not a child. I'm not an adult. It's just energy. What's wrong with it? And it only comes out with certain people that I'm comfortable with, or yeah, and it's not planned, it just happens that way. And usually it would only happen with my sister, but now I can see there's less guards naturally, there's less protection, so sometimes it just comes out. Okay, enough talking. Yeah, I really want you guys to feel comfortable in this space, so um, but it's understandable, like just knowing that other people might be listening, like the body can just have a reaction, so that's fine too. Yeah, just feel free to express. There's no right or wrong. The conversation doesn't need to go anywhere, you know? It's sometimes just nice to express, be seen, be heard, be understood.